So what I want us to do is to start becoming more conscious, start choosing things in a better way for ourselves, and start creating a life that's going to gear us to really take advantage of the opportunities that are going to show up for us in the years to come.
This podcast is brought to you by The Integrated Human. We work up, down, inside out to plug yourself into your potential. If you want to see what we are up to and what's next, sign up to our newsletter or follow us on social media. If you like what we are doing, we really appreciate it if you can like our post on social media and YouTube and help us grow.
All right. Welcome to the Big and Small Podcast. I'm Jason Shields, and I'm big.
And I'm Marit Gabrielsen, and I'm the tiny one.
There's like a moment where she looked at me. Did you forget the intro?
No, I was about to say small one. So that was actually me almost doing the wrong thing here.
Okay, it's early in the morning.
No.
Okay.
It's tiny.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Yes.
Also
yes.
small.
Yes.
But in this case, tiny.
Yeah.
Yes.
True story.
Good morning. It is early morning.
Yeah, it's very early morning, but hey, I get up early and excited to hang out. So good.
Yay.
So, anything new happening in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it.
I was wondering yesterday, should I go the depressive road? Should I go the hard truth road? Should I try to have a lighter spin on it? And I had an idea and I can't remember it anymore. I think I can try and we'll see where we end up. Try to, because it's Christmas, so let's try to not go all the way.
Christmas.
Well, that we actually have talked about. I don't love Christmas. I love what's in Advent.
Advent, the time before, yeah.
Yeah, the time before.
Pentecostal, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the time I really like. The other things is not. It's nice, of course. But I really like that waiting time. But in the mastermind group, we have a mastermind group which is for the people that have. Is a group that is available for the people that have been to one of our events.
Yeah.
And it's for people that want to do more work on themselves.
Take it to a whole nother level.
Yes. And they have the people that have, we meet once a month and you say something smart and we do a task and we meditate and it's really nice. And for this month's task, I of course made the task much more difficult than it actually is.
Yeah, actually, the task was to find.
The task was to find
five things that someone that you admire or want to have a similar accomplishment is doing that you recognize that you may not be doing, and pick the two what? Easiest ones.
Yes.
Easiest ones to do, to see what kind of results it produces in your life. Now that's of course this is built on a lot of the other stuff that we're doing. So
it's not just that. This is a sequence of stuff.
Yeah.
But this is this month's task, and because the tasks is not, and you choose your task if you want to do it or not. But it gives something to keep you active in your process during a month, because I have an experience that if you don't have any tasks, nothing to focus on, then it's easy to, that kind of, when you drift away from the group because life happens. So in week 3, you kind of forget it. And in week 4, you are not there at all until you start again and you meet up again. You go, oh yeah, that was the thing. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of, it keep you in the process.
Yeah.
To have a task.
Yeah.
I, of course, since I like doing anaconda ways and eating a whole elephant at a time and just sit with it, I chose a general thing I see that people that I look up to and people that I admire do. And one of them is gratefulness. And if you listen to the last podcast, we talked a lot about thoughts and thinking thoughts. And gratefulness is one of the things that it's easy to say.
Oh, yeah.
Very easy to
The
say.
idea of it's very easy.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Right.
grateful for my husband. I'm grateful for my kids. I'm grateful for this food. And I, of course, wanted to have it slightly different. So I said, I want to feel grateful.
Yeah. Now can I like wheel this baby back a little bit?
You can wheel it wherever you want.
Okay, because this, you guys have to understand how difficult this task is for Moritz. Okay, because she is probably one of the most directed, focused, efficient workers and warriors that I have met. She goes all in, hair blazing, and just gets stuff done. She doesn't hold back. She doesn't consider herself. She just goes, 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 goes. Okay. Now, it's humbling to be around a person like her. It is amazing to see who she is. She accomplishes things that other people won't, can't, and never could think about because she is that person. Okay. So understanding that when you have pushed yourself that hard for that long, you don't only tolerate lots of uncomfortable situations and discomfort inside, but you almost kind of like it.
You get addicted to
You
it.
get addicted to being like on the edge of shit because it's like, okay, we're pushing it, and you all the time see that your edge gets moved a little bit.
Without suffering, there's no progress.
Right? Yeah. And did we talk about that last time?
I think we talked about it.
Yeah.
I do believe we
Yeah.
said it in the podcast
Because
it's one of those thoughts.
Yeah.
You just go,
what?
well, that kind of sucks.
Well, it doesn't suck, but it's
Yeah, but if
a
you
strong
have to have
indication.
progress, no suffering to have progress,
How can you be happy?
that's going to be a difficult
Because that
life.
was the thing, is like, you get to a point where you realize that your emotions don't come out of just nowhere. They come out of a mental construction. And she's like, why am I not finding that happiness? Why am I not finding that happiness? Because she announced to you guys that she had this moment of happiness.
A joy. It was
Of
pure joy when
pure
the sheep
joy,
was
right?
running and Bobby socks on my ears. And
But that joy, in a way, is a paradox and a contradiction to her mental construct. And the construct is, in order to be happy, I have to progress. But in order to progress, I must suffer. Therefore, she must be happy with suffering, which excludes happiness. Because as soon as she starts to feel happy, she's suffering, and then she's going to have to suffer more because then she needs more progress. And then if she's not suffering enough, she's not progressing enough. She's not progressing enough. She's not suffering enough. Therefore, that excludes happiness and joy. So you have
that's
to
pretty heavy.
Yeah, you have to understand that is what you at home are also doing in different ways. You create your life through your internal constructs, but most of your constructs are from your mothers and fathers and teachers and preachers, which means that you're not necessarily conscious of them. So you feel like, oh, today I'm very frustrated. Yeah, there's a reason for that. You didn't wake up pissed off. You woke up and then you got pissed off. Why? Oh, I don't know. Why? What? Why? Those magic words that we use in the integrated human to help people wake up, right? So the whole point is that she's pretty at home with the whole suffering piece, right? Also, being complimented, being appreciated, people being grateful for her is actually not very comfortable.
Oh,
because,
it's so hard.
Because that takes away a little bit of her suffering and progress, right?
Well, thought of progress.
Thought of progress, yeah, of course.
Because I do understand that you do not. Now I do understand that you don't need necessarily suffering to progress, and that's why we have this. I chose this task.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. Because this. I'm just going to show you another part of the mechanic here because this is very interesting.
Okay.
So here we are.
Apparently, I did something I didn't know I was doing.
Well, here we are. And you ask, well, Jason, you said pick the two easiest ones. Why did she pick one of the hardest ones, which is gratefulness for her, right? It's not that she's not a thankful and grateful person. It's just that she won't allow herself to feel that thing.
No, I will
different.
do the whole the same way you hug someone, like Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I won't let that. I would put up a wall.
Yeah.
So I would take it in my head.
Yeah.
But I would cut it down to the heart.
Exactly.
Because that's just too much.
Yeah, and also if it goes in, I mean, it's taking
What do you
away
do
your
with
progress.
it? Yeah. It's no suffering there. Then
Don't you appreciate me? You're taking my progress. Don't you know? So she'll sacrifice herself for you and go through pain and hell for you, but to take the feeling in the heart that wow, you're amazing. That's not going to happen.
well,
Well,
before
before.
working on it really hard.
So we're walking to training. Now you guys know that we're athletes, and if you're an athlete, you do something athletic every day. We're either doing jujitsu, or we're lifting our weights, or we're actually athletically resting, going for walks with Teddy and that kind of stuff, right? You're walking your lovely husband,
I'm walking my lovely husband.
yeah, as well. So the whole point is we're walking to training, and I'm just like, man, you're amazing. Like this, the way you handle that person was just unbelievable, and I'm really impressed. And she stopped me and she just looked me right in the eyes and she said, "You know what? You take your thankfulness and your gratefulness and your appreciation and cut it down to like half, okay? Every time you want to be grateful and every time you want to say that you're appreciating
But you
me,
appreciate every cup of coffee I give you today.
but I do appreciate it.
I know.
Yeah, but it's like you're like,
It's a
dude,
little bit much to relate to.
every other time you keep that to yourself. Like, so then you understand that most people would be in heaven if their best friend, employer, partner, all this stuff was appreciating them, and being actually literally grateful and all that. But Ma's like, you know what?
Cut it in half.
Cut it in half because you're in the way of my suffering. You're in the way of my progress.
Well, it is because the thing is when you have to practice something, you're not good at it. You have to relate to it. And it's really difficult to relate to it 50 times a day and work at the same time.
Yeah.
So we kind of have to take baby steps here.
Well, that's it. But now you understand that mechanism and construct, which then makes her, because she's gonna go anaconda style on the elephant. She's gonna go for the hardest thing, which she also sees because she's awake. She sees that that's one of the most valuable traits.
And it also gives me some suffering to do something.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. There you go.
Also,
You're serving both sides,
and
right?
you know how my head works.
Yeah. I can suffer a little bit through this because it's going to be hell,
So, because in this task, it's different reasons for the task. But one of the things is that I post on Instagram every day.
Yeah.
And usually I won't do that because I don't like posting that much on Instagram. But I know how my head works. And that day I feel like shit, I'm just going to go, don't have to do it today. But I have committed on Instagram.
Yeah.
It says there in the text that I'm going to do it until the 7th of January.
Very good.
And I work.
Yeah.
I love to work and I'm good at working. And that's a task for my work.
Yeah.
And not doing it would mean failure in work.
Yeah.
And I don't do that.
No.
So therefore, I must do it. Therefore, I must look for gratefulness.
She's leveraging her own inner mechanism. She's leveraging her basic mechanisms to make sure that she is successful, guys. Now, understand what she just did was brilliant. She put herself in a way that she's going to fail her role.
Which I value more than everything.
Yes.
Because I've chosen that role.
Yes, you chose
and I
it.
love it.
Yes.
It's one of, I love
and
to
you
work.
rock it.
I am. Yeah. Therefore, I cannot not do it.
Yeah.
Because then I won't succeed in my role.
Yeah.
And I do succeed in my role.
Yes,
so therefore
that's
you
it.
do it. And therefore I need to do gratefulness.
Lock and load gratefulness.
So that's kind of, but so I'm doing that. And
I'm really proud of you. That's
well,
amazing.
it's super difficult.
It's insane because the actual feeling of gratefulness, people don't understand that being thankful. Oh, thank you. Thank you. But gratefulness is understanding the relationship and understanding the context. It's kind of like a person who, there's an old story about this one yogi who sits and he says, he's meditating and saying the name of God all the time, right? In order to reach God. I love these old stories, And
Story time with Jason.
so, yeah. And then there's this farmer who is working his tail off. He's got all of these animals. He's got all of the people around him. He's feeding a big family. He's feeding people, his neighbors, because it's hard times, and he's taking care of people. And he only has time because he's so busy, and he's just serving people so much. He's so busy that he only has time to say the name of God once a day, just like, oh God,
Oh my God.
oh my God, yeah, probably more
Oh
like,
no. Oh my God.
my God, oh my God, right? And then God appears on earth, and of course favors the farmer, and the yogi's pissed. He's super pissed. He's like, I have done nothing other than waking up in the morning and sitting on a hard rock and saying God's name the whole time. And this guy only said it once a day. Like, what's up? And he said, you have to understand the context. This guy said it once a day in the middle of serving everybody and everything around. And where does everything come from?
God.
Yeah. So he said, this guy's been serving me, and everything he's doing in his context is serving. Right? So the whole point is that it's not necessarily the being, oh, I have to remember like a child to say thank you, because you should say thank you. That's the worst thing in a way that parents do. You teach a kid to be thankful because they exchange thankfulness for gratefulness. And gratefulness it's a mature feeling. It's kind of like,
It's so is the word wholesome, correct?
well, yeah,
Yeah.
whole. It's more whole.
Yeah,
It's more whole. Yeah,
it's so.
wholesome is more like the Brady Bunch. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know. You
okay.
guys
Oh,
haven't
yeah,
seen
I don't
that,
know.
but
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well,
Was it Little House on the Prairie?
I'm too young.
Oh my God, that's such a good show. It's very
Sure,
wholesome.
sure. Well, it's really it's such a amazing feeling.
Yeah,
It's just filled with everything.
yeah. It's wholeness.
Yeah, it's whole. That's what
Yeah,
I think I meant.
yeah, yeah. Which
I'm
is also
Norwegian.
very
I'm
wholeness.
Norwegian.
No, you're amazing.
Yeah, yeah, but
People
you
give
see, this is
people.
the thing. This
Yeah,
is
but
the whole.
people give you. I got compliment yesterday on
Yeah,
the fact that
I
your English
know.
is
Well,
stellar.
yeah. Okay, gratitude. Where are you? My point was, you see,
Yeah.
I don't have time. I need to get to my point.
Get your
I can't
point.
relate to this right now.
No.
Well, in this task,
Yeah.
back to it. It also, because relating to the last podcast, when you think thoughts and think that you don't have thoughts, and realizing you're thinking that you don't have thoughts, and then you just go crazy. And when I did the, if you listen to podcast 1 to 34, most likely, it's basically Marit being an emotional mess, working through that. And I'm strongest in my emotions. So I quickly understood that emotions can drive the head.
Yes.
And then now when I'm in the head, they drop down to the emotions, and the anxiety picks up and start running up to the head. And I also found that focusing on gratefulness helps me keep that anxiety in check. It doesn't disappear because we don't ignore feelings.
No.
We don't ignore them.
No.
They deserve better.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a dog like every other dog out there. You need to take care of it in
Yeah.
the way that dog likes to be taken care of.
Yeah.
But
Give it what it needs.
give it what it needs. But
Doesn't
don't.
mean act out on people.
But
That's
doesn't.
different.
It's a difference between sitting with it and letting it take over the whole party.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. And gratefulness is one of those grand feelings that's closer to unconditional love.
Yeah.
Because it's contextual. It looks at the context of an event. It's not just, oh, thanks for the coffee, but it's like, wow, in your busy day, you thought about me and gave me coffee. That's amazing. Thank you. Wow, thank you. You know, wow. And
There's
because
so much to the right here.
yeah, and because we actually swim in a ocean of unconditional love. Unconditional love is the basis of every emotion, which means that when you've found unconditional love, you can have any other emotion, one or many at a time, and it will be whole and integrated. It won't overwhelm you because you are rooted in unconditional love. And that is part of the flow state continuum that we're helping people achieve. Yeah.
Yes. I lost my thought train. Yes. So focusing on the gratefulness, it helps also with this whole anxiety thing. And I start to realize and see, because when we started my process in 2016 through the Integrated Human, we talked a lot about thought patterns and how to think.
Yep.
Kind of look at facts and tell the truth and find small wins and how to work it. But now I'm working through the mind, which is slightly different. And I started also to see, which I know some of my male friends is having the issue with, is that I see that before I understood that the heart drives the head, but now I start to see how the head also drives the heart, which is very interesting.
They touch.
They do touch, but I didn't understand how much it touched down also,
Yes,
because I haven't been so much in contact with the mind
exactly.
consciously and working with it.
Yeah.
And it was interesting yesterday because we were having lunch and we were sitting in our, and well, too much information, but I'm PMSing so incredibly now. Like it's insane. I don't know what to do with myself. And I was having this conversation with myself out loud. And Steve was just looking at me and looks at you and like, I don't understand a thing that she's doing right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And you just go, oh, no, she's talking to her PMS self. I think
Yeah.
you're good. You're good. Because it's very interesting. This process as a female, and perhaps my male friends could understand their girlfriends and friends better if they understood. I now understand and acknowledge that I have some days a month where I don't make sense. And I'm starting to see that part really clearly now through the mind. And I was sitting, because right now I have the, one of my fallbacks is to freeze, not do anything, just stop everything and wait. And that helps now because I know I'm 50% crazy. My mind is 50% crazy. My emotions are 50% crazy. They don't have any root in facts or this world. So I was sitting yesterday having a conversation with my PMS self. Sit down. No, it's not. You sit down. You. We're not gonna do it. This was the conversation we had out loud. And it's very interesting because she wants to drive down to the emotion.
Yep.
And the emotion is like a boiling pot right now.
Yes.
And I can't let that. Then I start trying fireballs, and then I realize afterwards, well, why did you do that? Because I've seen it so much and understand the pattern. While before it was just happening, and people around me just had to deal with it. But it's really interesting from my own perspective as a female to see that those days, and you kind of just go, wow, this is crazy.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So also that in that process right now, gratefulness helps.
Yes.
Because I can go, no, we have this focus. You know, we have, Jason taught us that we have a postage stamp focus. Like that's the size of our focus. I don't have time for you right now. I'm looking at this thing. I'm trying my best to look at, sit over there. No, we're focusing here. It takes some time because you kind of getting drifted away all the time. But to have that focus really helps, in my opinion. I don't know how you feel about it, because maybe that I latch out of you guys still, but
No,
it helps me a little bit.
Yeah, well, what you're saying is very correct with the whole idea that your field of consciousness, your field of awareness is like a football field, and your working attention, your attention is the size of a postage stamp in relative terms. And what you put your attention on grows. The problem is that when we are, early spring and all the guys are starting to feel a little frisky and their testosterone pops up and they're feeling a little more aggro and have to try to push their alpha on people, even though they're 14, 15 years old with a fake Johnny Depp mustache, they're hilarious. But that kind of challenging comes up. They don't know that that's happening, but men also have these rises and falls in hormones. And as I'm getting older and I have much less testosterone than I did maybe 15 years ago, it's really clear for me how that affected my thinking. And you have come to a whole nother level of introspection and reflection when you can see that, okay, now I'm PMSing.
Oh,
Because,
it's
yeah.
crazy.
And some people have body signals, that their body tells them that they are doing it. Some people just have lots of emotional states that come and go. And to figure yourself out, to be able to see that, oh, wow, I'm really, really frustrated and angry right now. And it has absolutely nothing to do with that guy there, though he's doing something that I could see is kind of irritating.
I can make that
I can
irritating.
make that irritating, and I'm going to flamethrow that guy, right? That you understand that it's happening is a big step, because that is proof that you're no longer, you graduated from the emotional state to the mind and the head, and that's a necessary process. People who are very powerful in one center often don't really even know they have other centers, and if you know you have the other centers, which you have always known, then you suddenly, when you've kind of filled up your job on one level, you start then getting a job on the other levels, and you see that there is a hierarchy. There is a hierarchy, because if you have consciousness, if you have awareness, it's much easier to look at your emotions and realize that you're having them for a reason, which may be PMS. It may be because it's a very valid reason on the outside, or it could be some old construct or trauma that's coming up that needs to be dealt with, right? So that's well done, really well done. That's awesome. That's awesome stuff. And
Yay.
yeah, and guys, men, the price that women pay to be able to have children has never been appropriately appreciated. Every month, several times a month, they're having to deal with the movement of the universe, their biological system, in a way that men will never understand, because men basically push play and go. They don't have to deal with menstruation. They don't have to deal with PMS. They don't have to deal with the fact that their body blows up and gets and shrinks down and all of the stuff. The things that women go through should be respected and honored. And if you make jokes about it, shut up.
Thank you. Yes. No, so we have had, that's kind of what's in the flow right now.
Yeah.
That's where we go, where we are.
Is that a premenstrual joke?
No. Oh my
no.
God.
Well,
no.
sorry. Oh no.
You said just people that shame on you, but people that make jokes about it.
Shame on me.
Shame on you. No.
I thought you were. No, never mind.
Never mind.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So it's but anyways, to look at gratefulness is something I would do recommend. And now when we are going into holiday season.
Yeah, we are.
And with so much stress, that's also one of the reasons why I picked it. First of all, like I say, in my kind of collection of people I look up to and appreciate. I two of them was you and Steve.
Oh, thank you.
And
it's an honor.
You guys practice gratefulness more than anyone I know, and you're actually doing it. It's not just a saying; it's something you practice to the extent that I have to say, "Can we just do half of it?" Because it's
every other time, keep it to yourself.
Yeah, but the thing is,
if
before you get, and the reason for it, because it sounds ridiculous, and it is, but if you're gonna do it, which I will, because that's I have to do it. You also have to relate to it every time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so busy working, and I'm not used to taking the time to take it in. And for me to take it in, it takes some time. I actually need to make an effort to do it. And when you're then being appreciated for the 20th cup of coffee you're served that day.
Yes, I drink too much coffee.
Now you're much better now. Yeah, but it's coffee, or it's a cookie, or it's something. That's 20 stops a day. Yeah. And for me, that's a little bit too much right now. I can do 5.
Yeah, exactly.
But then it's really nice that also we work in this amazing clinic. We have the best patients ever. And I say right now is the best time to be in the reception ever, because you guys are working in the treatment rooms, but I am the reception.
Yeah.
So when people come in with cookies and
Ah.
flowers and Christmas cards, I get to receive all of that gratefulness. And a lot of that gratefulness is towards you and Steve. And it's much easier for me to receive gratefulness on your behalf than to receive it for myself.
Thank you.
So I'm getting a lot of free, slightly easier repetitions, which I do appreciate. And then, of course, I get the wild horse sometimes, where I also get a Christmas card from them, and then they have done their smart thing, because then I'm already open because I'm receiving for you guys, and then I'm super weak in my resistance, and then I'm just standing there with tears in my eyes, and it becomes very overwhelming for me, because I
people love you so much.
we try to do it very, like, really feel it. And it's such a powerful feeling. And walking into this Christmas season now and holiday season, it's so much stress. It's so much things you should do, and things in Norwegian we have this saying, "Nu skal vi kose oss." Like, you don't have that in
Now we're
English.
gonna really have a good time.
Yeah, now we are having a good time.
We're having fun, right?
Oh no, not right. We are having
We
fun.
are having fun. Oh yeah.
Yes,
This is fun.
yes, this is super fun.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing to practice this coming weeks, to kind of not say it, but feel it. And if you don't feel it, change it.
That's it.
Maybe to make, you know, when you have to make 7 types of Christmas cookies, maybe make 2, enjoy making them, and buy the rest. Like, find ways to not be caught in the system of what you need and should do, but actually have a good time.
Yeah.
I think that could be that's my goal, at least, to calm down and actually, in my gratefulness task, find them
Yeah, that's beautiful.
more, you know.
And that's there's something else that is a little bit the point. I have this beautiful friend. You and I have a beautiful friend, and he's a high level jiu-jitsu black belt. And I mean, he's gorgeous. This guy is like super good looking.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. He's like,
He's my husband's sky crush.
yeah, right. And with good reason. This guy's amazing.
He's
Shout out to Emir. You know, you're a good man.
kindest heart.
He's got a big heart.
He's big.
Yeah, he's a giant guy.
He's a giant
He's
dude.
if I'm large, he's extra large.
Yeah,
he's like a step up. Like, he's tall, like this much taller, this much wider. I mean, he's
extra large.
yeah, he's extra
It's
large.
Jason extra large.
Yeah, it's me extra large and younger and better looking. This guy is just so good looking, and he's so trained, and he's so smart and kind,
And so kind.
and he's working on himself, you know, and developing and taking care of the people around him. And he's a good son, and he's a good brother, and he's a good uncle. You know, this guy
He's
is
really doing his best in
gold.
every way
he's gold.
possible.
He's gold.
He's amazing.
And he has, you know, he came to me and he was like, you know, I have a gratefulness journal. So before I go to bed, I write down all the things I was grateful for that day. And it's such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful practice. And this is the thing. And I know he's doing this. So I just want to say that, you know, giant, muscular, badass black belt guys are taking time to sit down and be grateful. If they can do it in their warrior mentality, of course, everybody has time or should take time for that. You know, this whole practice of praying before you go to bed or going to sleep, you know, just contact a higher emotion, because going into sleep with those kind of emotions is much healthier than going into sleep with all of the shit that most people go into with, you know, their weird Netflix series where zombies are eating people's faces or whatever. It's like kind of weird. You're going to load your nervous system with that, and then you're going to basically drop your guard by becoming unconscious in your sleep. Is that a good strategy?
No.
It's probably not a good strategy. And I
better.
wonder why I have bad dreams, you know? And
I wonder why I don't get deep sleep and why I don't rest during my
it's
sleep.
weird that I'm paranoid at night, you know? It's like, it's one of those things that people have to think about. But also, again, this practice of having a gratefulness journal is very good, but only if you feel it when you write it. Meaning that contacting that emotion, like Maud is talking about, taking the time to actually touch that when you write it, that's the practice. It's not writing, and it's not writing down, and it's not just recognizing those points, but it's actually finding that thing, connecting with that thing, seeing its context, understanding it, and feeling the gratefulness of that context around that thing, and then writing it. Right? So,
And that's the thing, when you I talked about this when I was a personal trainer, that are you lifting or are you lifting?
exactly.
Are you just using momentum to get the weights up, or are you activating every muscle fiber in your arm? Well, I use momentum. Yeah, then just go home.
Yeah.
Because it's not that it's some function, but you have such a busy day. You have such a busy life. So when you take time to do something for yourself, if that's training, meditating, walking, I don't care, making food, then do it proper.
Yeah.
If not, don't do it, because then your time is better somewhere else.
Yeah.
If you take your time to write a gratefulness journal, and you do that every day, you do that 365 days a year.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of repetitions. Make them good ones. And if they're not good ones, just let them be.
Yeah. It's like just.
It's better to have 2 or 1 where you feel it than to have 100 when you didn't feel it.
Yeah, where you're recognizing it.
You're recognizing it, because it's not about recognizing it, it's about feeling it.
Yeah, that's it.
So do what you do proper.
Yeah. And that whole system can be transplanted into so many things. Like somebody asks my advice on something and I tell them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's like that
thing I read in that book once."
The thing I read in that book once.
I'm like,
and it's like, you just missed the whole point. I'm transferring thought pattern from my experience. I'm embodying that for you at this moment. So if you're totally present, it's going to go directly into your mind. But because you popped up into your head and you're just going into recognize mode and trying to make it like something else instead of being present with it, you're missing the opportunity to actually instantly upgrade. Stop just scrolling through your life and just looking and feeding your eyes and feeding your unconscious brain crap that other people want you to download. Start being present and choose who and what you want in your mind, heart, and body. So remember, you matter. Unless you multiply yourself by the speed of light squared, then you're energy. But if you can't be energy, matter.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. We hope you felt we added something to your day and hopefully your life. If you want to learn more, subscribe to our newsletter and find us at integrated-human.com. That is integrated-human.com. Integrated Human on YouTube and other social media platforms. Have a great day, and thank you again for listening. Love, light, and upgrade from us at the Integrated Human team.